unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate, all about helping you understand your buying decisions and making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Save our hotline number. At some point, you may need it, 813-750-0550. Call or text our Consumer Advocate hotline, 813-750-0550. Check out consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors, over 50 show partners, and 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice. And we're going to help you win in any marketplace, as we say here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We've got a great lineup for you today. We got attorney Jason Kobal coming in on the second half, our legal analyst. And joining me here in studio, Sara Schneider, Mold Zero. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Yeah, so when you look at your business, there's a lot happening. You've added some services, and we're going to talk a little bit about the insurance side.
Absolutely. I'm going to give some really useful tips for our homeowners.
Very good.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Mold is a silent killer.
It is, absolutely.
Indoor air quality is so important. So we're going to talk about that with Sara Schneider, Mold Zero. You've heard Brandon Faust on the show as well previously. And I got an interesting story, or kind of a 2-minute drill for you on our National Science Foundation article talking about the number of thoughts that human beings have. It's an interesting story I'm going to share with you later in the show. Our feel-good story of the day as well, Juju Smith-Schuster's act of kindness for a man in need is caught on camera. So we always talk about that random act of kindness, doing something kind for one another. We're going to talk about that later in the show as well. A couple of hot listings here from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, my real estate firm, and we're ranked at the top 1% of all realtors in Tampa Bay. 13204 Fawn Lily Drive in Riverview. This is a gorgeous home, 4,500 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 5 bath, 3-car garage, resort-style amenities, and a covered screen lanai on the waterfront right here in beautiful Tampa Bay out in East Hillsborough County. Compliments of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Also, 1010 Bay Esplanade. This is on the north side of Clearwater Beach, just minutes walking distance to the sugar sand and dolphin-filled waters of beautiful Clearwater Beach. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And this segment is brought to you by Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning. Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Also, COVID-19 certified for infection prevention and control is Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning. They offer $15 off for the first cleaning. Reach out to them directly, and they also have a Facebook page, Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning. And check them out online. All right, let's jump into it. So we got Sara in the house, Sara Schneider, Mold Zero. That we talk a lot about indoor air quality. We talk about being that consumer advocate. What do the people need to know?
Definitely indoor air quality is super important. You know, you're breathing in that air every single day. You know, especially during these COVID times, you're at home way more often. You know, a lot of people are working from home. A lot of my friends are sitting in front of their computer, you know, from 9 in the morning till 5, 6 o'clock at night. Then they don't even leave. They stay here, you know, stay there in the evening, and they're starting to notice, the air quality makes a big difference, you know, especially if you're going to be in your home most of the day. It's really important. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked about different stories, how, you know, the person's going to the doctor, they go to the doctor numerous times, they can't figure out what exactly is ailing this patient, and then they start doing some digging and some research, and it ends up being the real estate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's actually kind of crazy. I've had numerous clients call in saying, you know, I didn't know what it was. Honestly, we've had even clients who are like, I actually thought I had COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they went and got tested, and they're like, that's not what I had. It's because I'm spending 3 times more in my home. And, you know, when I was, you know, beforehand, I was out, you know, the entire day. I would just come home, sleep, and go back to work. And now I'm spending the entire day in my home, and the mold in the home is actually creating these health issues, the coughing, the wheezing, the sinus issues, which is kind of similar to the symptoms. So
Yeah.
we've had a few situations like that, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. And even if you don't have mold inside the house, the EPA says it's 5 times, the outdoor air is 5 times cleaner than indoor. So, yeah, take those breaks, open the windows from time to time, do your spring cleaning. Now, you guys have also added, Mold Zero has recently added water mitigation services. Is that right?
We have. Yeah, we have.
What exactly does that mean?
Well, basically, whenever you have a water loss in the home, so let's say a pipe bursts in your wall, your water heater overflows, issues with the AC, and you come into your home and everything is wet. The floor is wet, the walls are wet. You need to get that dried instantly, because if not, if you let it, continue to leak, or if you let it stay wet, it will just start eating away at the drywall. It will start to cause mold. Mold can grow within 24 to 48 hours. We're in Florida. It's super humid here. So mold grows at a much faster rate than a lot of our drier states. So the importance of having a company come out on an emergency basis to dry out that area that has caused this flood is super, super key. Especially now during hurricane season, people are having a lot of roof leaks, which is causing, issues in their ceilings. They start to see, we've had a couple clients where the ceilings actually fell in, from the roof. Wow. So that is super key, and it really walks like hand in hand with mold. They're very close, they're very closely tied. So it just made sense to be able to offer from start to finish the entire package.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You come in and you give a honest quote. You give them a bid. Here's what we can do to basically preserve the asset, because you might have to tarp the roof. There's all kinds of scenarios where you got to stop the loss, and then by the way, we can treat it. So you're handling it from end to end. Exactly.
You just want to prevent as much damage as possible. And the key thing that I stress on is time. Time is super important. The moment it happens, you call and you have someone come out, because the longer you wait, the more that you're going to cause damage to your home. And the more that also when, for example, the insurance company gets involved, because if you have a loss in the home, if the home floods, you're definitely going to want to call your insurance.
Right.
If you wait, your chances of coverage start to diminish, because the insurance company has certain set times. Yep. So that's a really important factor, is time.
Yeah, because they're going to say, hey, well, you could have minimized this. You should have saved this. We could have intervened earlier.
Exactly.
So we're talking with Sara Schneider here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. She represents Mold Zero. And let's talk a little bit more about the insurance side, because we've had, Suncoast Roofing has been one of our show partners for 4 or 5 years now, and they have similar scenarios where the roof is damaged during a storm. You have issues claiming. You have to get attorneys involved sometimes to just have the insurance company step up to the plate when it comes to these repairs.
Well, we are, we're specialists in the insurance. I actually personally go over almost every single client who has an insurance claim, and I walk them through the entire process from start to finish. So I assist in getting them the coverage that they deserve, and we handle everything for the billing of the insurance. It's very simple. We have them sign what's called a direction to pay, and it allows us to authorizes us to speak with the insurance company, to deal with the insurance company directly, and basically offer a hassle-free service for the client to get the best coverage that they deserve for their loss. So we basically take care of everything, the documentation, the pictures, the measurements, everything that the insurance company will ask that usually the homeowner will have to provide. We instead do that all, and we get them everything paid.
Yeah, that's awesome. To be able to, assist in those situations, because a lot of times people have, and it's part of the reason why we started this show 7 years ago now, is there's all these different scenarios that play out in life.
Yeah.
And a lot of it we weren't taught in school. We weren't, that's a lot of the education, right? A lot of people are saying, hey, I wasn't taught how to
this stuff at school.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of, just housekeeping 101. Like, here's how you handle bills. Here's how you be careful for these high interest rate credit card, like all these different things.
Absolutely.
And then you go out there, it's like magic. You turn 18, and then, here's your credit card. You get a T-shirt with this, kids at college signing up.
They need to implement that into our education. That is so important. I've learned so much, working at this company that I would have never learned beforehand,
Right.
And it's so valuable to know how to use your insurance policy to the best, that you can, because it's there for that.
Absolutely.
I've had homeowners who will pay their insurance for 30 years, have never used it, never filed a claim.
Yeah.
And, and then they have a horrible loss and their whole entire home gets, damaged and destroyed.
Yeah.
And the insurance company, that's now it's their responsibility to step up to the plate and take care of all that. And we help facilitate that entire process. We make sure that whatever the insurance company needs to be able to provide the coverage for the client, we provide that for them, and you make sure nothing gets missed, because sometimes it can happen, we're people can make errors, and sometimes things get missed. So having a third party, having a company like us represent you and help you get through the entire process is super valuable. I see it all the time where the homeowner will try to do everything with the insurance company directly and not get the same result as if we would deal with the insurance company directly. So we always try to push that, and give the clients and, the homeowners the options to go both ways.
Yeah, it's the expertise, understanding what you're good at, staying in your lane somewhat. And it's a situation where Mold Zero's here in Tampa Bay. They've been doing it a long time, treating large buildings like the church that we talked about last week with Brandon. Had a huge church where they had went out of town and the mold set in.
Oh yeah, they had to shut down during COVID and then came back and there was mold everywhere. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
But fortunately, we got that all taken care of for them.
So we've mentioned insurance a few times, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention Doug Levi, our insurance expert contributor. He talks a lot about getting a review. You want to make sure, just as a homeowner, a business owner, you want to make sure you're getting a review on your policies, because sometimes if it's not covered or you don't have the right supplement or addendum to the policies, then you have issues there as well, and you're not covered because it would be, it's rising water versus a wind event, or it happened, the wind caused it, and then the water came in. There's all these different scenarios that play out.
Yeah, for sure. There's different insurance companies that don't even cover mold. I think State Farm is one of them.
Wow.
So, you definitely have to be super careful when you are, choosing for home insurance, or if you're planning on changing, you absolutely need, an insurance policy that covers water and mold, for sure. In the state of Florida, that's mandatory. Obviously, if you lived in a drier state, it might not be as important, but with the rain and the hurricanes, we're constantly having homeowners just pop a leak here, pop a, leak over there. There's a, so it is really important choosing the right policy,
And even on the flood insurance, sometimes people say, oh man, I'm not in a flood zone. If your elevation is still kind of in the middle range where it's not super high, it costs you a couple $100, few $100 to have that flood policy. You might as well have it, because think about it. The government sets these lines, and they're imaginary lines on a map that say, oh, well, this will be where we cut off that flood zone versus this flood zone. Yeah. And if you know the government that I know, they're not 100% accurate when it comes to a lot of things. So anyways, and I think Congress has, a 12% approval rating, as it goes. So right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, more from our expert contributors. We've got Sara Schneider in studio with us, Mold Zero. Coming up, attorney Jason Kobal. Kobal Law is going to talk about what he practices, personal injury. He talks a lot about the consumer side as well. So we're going to talk to you about that. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, Juju Smith. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's a football player, but off the field, he had a random act of kindness. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and check out consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, helping you win in any marketplace. That's what we're here to do. We want to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
And we are winning in the real estate space as well. We're hiring right now, so we would love to talk to you if you're in the field or looking to get into the field. We've got internship opportunities, all types of opportunities. ConsumerQB.com. Send an email to me at consumerqb.com. We got 6128 Oak Ridge Avenue in Newport Richey. This is a waterfront beauty. This property is just listed. It's almost an acre of land on the river. Beautiful property, 4,100 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, waterfront home, bay access. Bring your boat, bring your fishing tackle, enjoy the best that Tampa Bay has to offer at that beautiful listing of ours. 2528 Appaloosa Trail. This is a gorgeous home. This is a Palm Harbor beauty conservation view, 2,300 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3-car garage, enclosed pool, and you've got a great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. It's a hot market. It's a low inventory market. So if any sellers out there would like to have a free comparable market analysis, we'll offer that to you. Just reach out to the hotline, 813-750-0550, consumerqb.com. All right, let's give a shout out to Golf Cart Depot, our friends over at the Golf Cart Depot. They do a great job over there, a.k.a. Discovery Golf Carts, Tampa, Clearwater, and discoverygolfcars.com. And they hooked me up with a beautiful Keller Williams Red. The boys love to go for a ride with me on our beautiful golf cart. Yeah, there they are. There's Charlie and Carter. And so we have a lot of fun with that. ConsumerQB.com. And Sara Schneider back here in studio, Mold Zero. And when you think about, just the overall industry, it's, if you hear about the real estate market, it is a low inventory market. And, when sellers have tenants, we talked a little bit about tenants prior to as well. Some people are getting their properties ready to sell. Tenants are occupying them. And there's potential for, landlords to get in some big trouble if they don't keep their properties up to par.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super important to just make sure that the home, whether you have a tenant or whether you're selling the home, it's mold free, and that you can provide also documentation to show that, because it always comes up. I see it all the time. We have a large network of realtors that we work with that rely on our expertise, and they always give us a call when they go through a sale. And they definitely need their home sold and sold quickly. But, of course, the mold can become an issue if it's present and there isn't a proper handling for it. So, they're always needing, especially a buyer. A buyer is always going to request, have you gotten previous mold remediation? Can I see the documentation for it? Can I see the, indoor air quality testing, a clean bill of health, Yeah. And most people aren't going to get away with it. Like, if there is mold and you have to disclose it, they're going to want to see some record of it. So simple, we make it a very simple process for them. If there is mold, then we provide them with that estimate. We get it taken care of really quickly. And then we provide them with that clean bill of health certificate, which basically is transferable from owner to owner. So if they end up selling the property, it goes to the new owner. And then if they do, decide to actually have that as a property that they want tenants in, they can provide those documents to the tenants, and then they'll be happy. They'll feel safe in the home, even if it's had a previous situation. They'll feel safe because we've gotten indoor air quality testing done for them, and we can guarantee that the home is mold free at that point.
Yeah, that's awesome to be able to pass that peace of mind to the tenant or the new buyer.
Absolutely.
Because we have it happen a lot of times. You go under contract, and I like what Kevin's doing with his, he calls it done diligence, Kevin Overstreet, that is. he's got a program where he's trying to do a lot of the due diligence up front, because traditionally with the real estate industry, you're selling a home, you go under contract, and then you start doing the different inspections, the home inspection, the termite inspection, the mold inspection. He's saying, hey, let's do it a different way. Let's do due diligence and have the property kind of pre-qualified is the name of it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, he's doing a good stuff with that. So it kind of reminds me of that, because I've had several properties over the years where water's getting inside the stucco.
Yeah.
And you know where that can lead to.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it can be, a mold situation can be a very small situation that can be easily handled in a day, half a day, or it can be a much larger issue where, what you're seeing is only like the tip of the iceberg. When you go in, you might just see a little spot on the wall, and then the homeowner maybe doesn't do his due diligence, or the new buyer doesn't do his due diligence in the inspection period, buys the home, and then discovers that little spot isn't just that little spot. It's the entire room, or even half of the house, but it was hidden. So, we tell all of you, homeowners, really do those inspections. They're super important. And a lot of times you can't even see the situation until you actually go ahead and get the inspection and do further digging and investigation in it.
Yeah, because we're talking about microscopic particles that when they are touched, it's part of their DNA, so to speak, to spread and to be airborne, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why, that's why mold remediation exists as an industry, and we're not just a cleaning company or a glorified tear-out crew.
Right.
We exist because of how mold reacts on a microscopic level,
right,
and the way that they fight back. We have to realize that there's a science to the work that we do. It's not just going in and just taking a jackhammer or hammer to the wall, just going crazy.
Right.
We have to. We're almost like the surgeons of the tear-out industry.
Sure.
We have to be really precise and to avoid as much cross-contamination, because you might have a problem in just one area of the home, and maybe you've contained it, and then a homeowner will go in and they'll think they can take care of it. They're like, oh, I got this, and they'll go in and start messing around, and then they cause cross-contamination, and it starts to go in their ducts, and it gets spread throughout the rest of the home, and little do they know, they've now made the situation much worse.
Yeah.
So we definitely recommend hiring the pros when it comes to that.
Yeah, go with the pros that know, right?
With those little microscopic monsters.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's a good way to say it, because it is. They're monsters, they're killers, they're going to hurt you. Mold Zero, we're talking with Sara Schneider here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Moldzero.com.
Yeah, moldzero.com.
Moldzero.com is the place to visit. Brandon Faust, you've heard Brandon Faust on the show as well. You can see a lot of the previous shows on our YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty on YouTube as well. Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. A lot of our content's out there on Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, to hear more about it. But yeah, when it comes to somebody says, okay, I want an inspection. Are the inspections free? Or is there a charge depending on square footage?
It really depends on the situation. For a mold inspection, there is a cost to that. But we do offer free in-home evaluations. So sometimes an inspection is not always the route to go, depending on your situation. If you already know you have a problem, you can just start off with a free estimate just to see what the mold inspector finds when he gets there. He can come in, take a look, and then give you the best recommendations based off of your situation, and also based off of what you want to do. Yeah. Are you trying to get a tenant to move in there? Are you trying to sell the home? Are you trying to make the situation livable for you? Or are you trying to go with the insurance? There's so many different options for a homeowner to go down. So what we do is we go in there, collect the information, inspect the home, and then provide our homeowners with all of the options that make sense for their situation.
Yeah, because you bring up a good point, too, as well, when you mentioned the home inspector. The home inspector is going to do the basics. He's going to look at if he's doing a 4-point, he's going to look at the plumbing, the electrical, the AC, and the roof. And he's going to say, hey, there's a hint of potentially for mold. And that's when you want to bring the experts and go a little deeper.
Exactly. I definitely recommend going a little deeper. I hear it all the time. I bought this home, the mold, never came up in the home inspection, or it did, but it was downplayed a lot. Right. And once they've bought the home, they end up discovering that they might have a much larger issue than they ever imagined.
Right.
So having that extra step and just doing that due diligence, it ends up saving the new homeowner so much money.
Sara, always a pleasure. We're coming into our break here, our hard break. Moldzero.com. Sara Schneider, you've heard Brandon Faust on the show.
Yeah.
Always good stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up, we got Juju Smith's act of kindness on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and attorney Jason Kobal here in studio. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Jason, just stand by. We're just doing a quick reset, and then we'll get started again.
Nope, no problem.
All righty, thank you. Brandon, can you hear me? I got Jason right here if you want to talk to him.
Jason Kobal.
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
How you doing, sir?
Wonderful. How are you?
Good. Working hard, man. Making it happen.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yes, sir. Things good?
Hey, everything's going great with Lindsay's case. It looks like a real good one.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Hearing about that.
About any new cases, but
Okay.
vacation plans, so I don't need to
Oh, okay. You got vacation plans going?
Yeah, I'm going to Aruba tomorrow for a week.
Nice. Enjoy.
Yep.
Enjoy.
Assuming I took my COVID test
Okay.
yesterday, I get the results back by tomorrow morning. So hopefully none of us have it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Aruba.
Yeah, I needed to have negative tests for COVID in order to go, but we should be good. Yeah, I've never been there, but we'll see.
Very good, my friend. All right. Good stuff.
Yeah, for the show, I was going to talk about medical bills during the COVID because there's some new laws and not everyone's following them. So some people are getting wrongfully billed, if that's all right.
Absolutely. Medical bills piling up during COVID.
Yep.
Got it. All right, my friend. We'll go right back into it here.
All right.
Is Johnny ready?
Ready?
Johnny's
All right,
ready.
everybody stand by, please.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals. Certified negotiation experts on our team, multiple certified negotiation experts, top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, helping you win in your real estate deals, whether you're buying, you're selling, you're investing. We can help you with that. We also have referrals nationwide underneath the Keller Williams referral network, so we can definitely help you with that. And here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, we want to give a shout out to the Bilmar Beach Resort. Just had a great weekend down at the beautiful Bilmar Beach Resort right here in Treasure Island, Tampa Bay. One of the best beaches in all the world, the entire world. You know, we're so blessed to be living in paradise. Truly here. They've got 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant, and lots of fun stuff to do right there in walking distance in Treasure Island. Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot listings for you here in Tampa Bay. We got 12208 4 Oaks Road. This is a development opportunity. So attention builders, developers, entrepreneurs, deal makers out there. Check out 12208 4 Oaks Road in Tampa. You've got 5 acres. You got a small single-family home on there as well, but it's basically a zoning commercial deal. You've got R9 zoning, potential for 40 units right in Carrollwood. It's right in the heart of Tampa Bay. Carrollwood, $1.8 million. We're actually reducing the price today. So you got 12208 4 Oaks Road. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Okay, we have attorney Jason Kobal back on the show, Consumer Quarterback Show, phoning in. Kobal Law, welcome back.
Thanks, Brandon. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Good to have you. So medical bills for some are piling up during this COVID-19 and the pandemic and everything happening out there. And you help our consumers with that type of an area. So what are you seeing out there, Jay?
Yes, absolutely. You know, any type of bill that's either the wrong amount or not your responsibility, I could definitely help that person out. And with the COVID, it's amazing. I mean, and it's really not even just medical billing. I mean, it's just like everything is so disorganized, and there's been mistakes being made that normally aren't made all over the board. Like, I mean, even the clerk's office is making mistakes. Mediations aren't being set quick enough. Court events, just mistakes that you wouldn't see normally are happening just in all different types of areas. And then with respect to the medical bills, there's these new laws that were put into place that, for example, if you have health insurance and you treated for COVID-related symptoms and you had the COVID, then you don't pay anything. It's 100% covered. If you're uninsured, the providers, you don't pay anything there either. They're supposed to get reimbursed at the Medicare rate and promise not to bill you, and they get that through the government, through their own little database there. So if you're billed for anything COVID-related, definitely give me a call because you shouldn't have been. But even other than that, now's the time to check even normal medical bills. If you get a bill that seems a little funny, give me a call, because now we're seeing a lot more instances where insurance should have been billed and they're not billing the insurance, they're billing the person, or mistakes are being made by the insurance company or the medical provider. It's just that everything's a little disorganized these days, and that's understandable, but there's still laws in place, and you got to look out for yourself. And, you don't want to get stuck paying a bill that isn't completely yours or not at all.
Yeah, that's right. Attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Work comp law, personal injury law, consumer debt law, a lot of those areas kind of, where you don't really know what to do. And that's what we're all about here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you understand that. You're getting more and more scams these days, Jason. What other types of scams are you seeing? We've had everyone from Thomas King alerting people to, hey, when you're parking your car, there are spotters out there. They're looking at your checkbooks in your dash, your glove box, your garage door openers, or getting those codes. I mean, there's lots of scams to be alert for. Have you seen anything on your end as well in terms of scams?
Yeah. That's ironic you asked that. I just had it happen, and I couldn't believe it. I had to look it up myself, but there's a heck of a Social Security scam going on, where I don't know how the hackers somehow got into the government's database, but they are contacting people that have already either been approved or have applied for Social Security disability, and they're trying to scam them for money. So it happened to at least 3 of my clients, and I did a reverse number search and did a little research on it, and sure enough, it's a current scam going on now. So if you are called by anybody and you applied for Social Security, or you're on it already, maybe even receiving Social Security retirement, if you get called by anybody asking you for money or saying you have to do X, Y, and Z, and you're going to get money, it's probably a scam. Everything they do is by black and white in writing. So
Yep.
Definitely give me a call if that happens. But yeah, that's one that's happening right now.
I had a family member very similar through Messenger. That's the thing, too. They're going through Messenger, and there's a nice, friendly-looking face there, and it looks like it's a Facebook friend, and, oh, no, this person's from the church or whatever it is. But the red light or the red alert number one is when you need money up front. If you pay this much money up front, then it will access that back-end money. Are you seeing that, Jay?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. And actually, I saw a similar one like that through Messenger, and they were threatening. It was the IRS, and they were threatening to arrest people.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's very sketchy. Usually, stuff like that's going to be sent via certified letter, served upon you officially in black and white. So yeah, definitely want to be skeptical of anything through Messenger or text to you. But it's happening. It's rampant right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and don't click links either. As a real estate agent, I get pitched all the time. Do you want to be on this golf course's whatever scorecard? All these different pitches, but I also get a lot of text messages with weird links in them and they say, oh, was this property still available? I just reply back, which address are you referring to? Don't click the links, because that can lead you to a lot of trouble too.
Oh boy, I tell you, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I learned that the hard way a couple of years ago, and
yeah,
I found a link, and the guy had access to all my emails through for my law firm, and he sent all my contacts. It was really, of all the hackers that get me, this guy was the most embarrassing. It didn't get $1 from me, but he sent all of my contacts an email that I was stranded on a desert island, and he needed $10,000, talking as me, begging for $10,000 to be faxed or wired over.
Man.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's lovely. But
yeah, it happens though.
It work, but it was embarrassing.
All it takes is that slight, lack of judgment or slip in judgment, and then you've done it. You've gone down that trail, and so it happens. So, Attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We talk a lot about those areas of security. You're looking at scenarios now with COVID-19 complex, making more things complex more than they should be. What other areas are you seeing affected in law when it comes to COVID-19 or even election year stuff? I mean, that's bringing a whole nother bag of craziness in our way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, boy, I tell you, it looks like the governor has a good handle on Florida. Every state has their own rules. I know that there's a lot of controversy going on right now about the mail-in voting, but all I suggest is that whether you're voting in person or if you're going to mail in, make sure you can track your vote because, it's essential that everybody's vote counts. And there's just so much. I mean, the political scene right now, it's never been like this. It's just so toxic, and it's scary because, COVID definitely is a reality we have to deal with, so I can see why there's more mail-in votes than ever before. But, definitely have to be careful and make sure that, your vote is accurate. And there's always, if you're going to do it by mail-in, there's always a number of requirements. And each state is different. But, you might have to sign it in certain places or prove your identification some way. But you got to make sure that you finish all the steps or your vote might not count.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
That's right. And when you look at personal injury law, that's another area you're helping our listeners out here. Multiple people that I've been close contact with have had accidents lately. Just bad drivers everywhere. There needs to be some type of initiative or a bill for some of the folks that are on the road that shouldn't be on the road, whether it's something to do with medications. More and more people are taking different types of medications, but also I believe some of the elderly folks that are driving, they shouldn't be driving, because I had a good friend get in an accident, elderly person, handicapped person, and caused a lot of damage, and now they're going through MRIs, they're going through different scenarios. What have you seen on the personal injury side, Jason?
Right. Actually, I was just researching that a few days ago, and during the lockdown, like the 4 weeks or so that we were completely locked down, that the numbers obviously went down. We were locked down, and I think the citizens did a very good job of adhering to that. But once we started to reopen up, every month the accidents, at least here in Florida, have been up and considerably. And I can't guess or speculate on the reason why, but I imagine that after being cooped up for a couple of weeks, it feels good to get out. And then again, there's a lot of people suffering from depression, a lot of people lost their job, and times are different. But for whatever the reason is, and I'm sure there's a number of factors, the accidents are up. So if you get in an accident, it's very, very important to know what to do and understand the laws here in Florida. And if you don't have uninsured or underinsured motorists, on your automobile policy right now, I highly recommend that you call your agent up and get that put on there, because it's a mistake not to have that in Florida, given the way our laws are.
That's right. Doug Levi Strategic Insurance can get you tightened up on your insurance as well. Doug Levi Strategic Insurance. Jason Kobal, attorney Jason Kobal, Kobal Law, TampaWorkCompLaw.com, and KobalLaw.net, I believe. Right, Jay? KobalLaw.net?
Yep. Correct.
Good. All right, more from Jason coming up. If you can hang out with us, Jason, we got one more segment here. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, Juju Smith-Schuster's act of kindness for a man in need is caught on camera. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, Knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, helping you win in any marketplace. That's always our goal, helping you win in your real estate business as well. We got a hot listing here for our sellers out there that want to get maximum exposure. We've got 90 different outlets here that we're reaching through our radio and TV show that's syndicated worldwide now, as well as local broadcast radio here in Tampa Bay. We've got our TV show as well. 19206 U.S. Highway 19 North in Clearwater. This is a large opportunity. It's over $1 million asking price. What you get is a car dealership, multiple buildings, great opportunity. Some of the best real estate in all of Tampa Bay on US 19 in Clearwater. One of the hottest cities and the hottest markets in all of real estate. 19206 US Highway 19 North in Clearwater. Also, here's a single family home for you at 3405 Gray Whetstone in Tampa Bay. This is a single family home, 2,200 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage on a cul-de-sac lot. Recently reduced as well. 3405 Gray Whetstone in Brandon. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
Every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story.
Tell me something good.
Okay, so we got a Pittsburgh Steeler, a football player, Juju Smith-Schuster. He kicked off the 2020 season with an excellent performance in his win against the New York Giants. He caught 2 touchdown passes to help his team. But more off the field is what we like to talk about with the random acts of kindness. Steelers fan filmed Schuster supplying a man sitting on a bucket with a warm meal in Market Square. The Megan Suter told the fan that she was sitting at a table when she noticed Miss Schuster speaking with the man, asking him what he wanted to eat before he walked into Chipotle. And Suter said that when he got her camera ready, he wanted to stress that it was not staged at all. So random act of kindness going on everywhere. We love it. We love those feel-good stories of the day. Attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show with me as well. Jason, were you able to hear that story?
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge Juju Smith fan. I'm a Steeler fan.
I thought so. Yep.
Yeah, he has a number of stories like that. He's legitimately a good guy, and that's awesome, and he's very humble. It's nice to see that. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, it actually, the article goes on to read that he went to a toy shopping spree last year for children. He also went to a high school prom with a fan who needed a date.
Wow.
Cool. Love it. Now, here's something different. Here we're doing our 2-minute drill now. Every day we're going to do a 2-minute drill as well, talking to you about things that you can do to improve your life. Kind of call that audible as we talk about sometime here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So what we're looking at here is an article. It was a 2005 article, National Science Foundation article, found that the average person has between 11,000 and 60,000 thoughts per day. 80%, the overwhelming majority, 80% of our thoughts, those thoughts are negative, and 95% are exactly the same as the day before. I mean, it's a modern day, what is that movie with Bill Murray? Groundhog Day, right? So we got to think about, okay, the way that we're programmed, our brain, we have this reticular activation system. So sometimes we wonder why we kind of tend towards the negative. It's because we are looking for that saber-toothed tiger coming around the corner, and it's a survival mechanism, right? And today, when you have social media, you have internet, all these different aspects of life, it makes it that much harder. So what you got to do is try to figure out, how can I cut the fat? How can I stay focused? How can I focus on my one thing, as Gary Keller talks about, or the Pareto principle, as Wilfredo Pareto invented in 1895. He kind of coined that phrase as the 80-20 rule. You know, what are those key 20% tasks, those things that you can focus on that's going to lead you towards success and down the right road, versus, again, 11 to 60,000 thoughts per day, 80% being negative and 95% being the exact same as the day before. So we got to cut off the gossip news. We got to cut off a lot of times the excessive social media, or even fantasy football. You know, what are you really doing moving forward with that kind of stuff? Or do you need to check your team status that many times a day, right? It's okay to do it, but let's focus on it. Let's focus on the things that really matter. Jason, any comments on that?
Yes, that's awesome advice, because you know what, these companies, the ones at the top, they know exactly how to push your button, and these social media, all the Facebook, all that stuff, very addictive, and it's meant to be that way, and it's very easy, and it's just great advice. I know I got into Eckhart Tolle a couple of years ago, the author of The Power of Now, and just to be mindful of your thoughts and try to regain some control over, just to be mindful of what you're thinking, and when you get on one of those runs or where you're caught up on social media arguing about something and being negative for hours, you got to try to be aware of that and monitor yourself. It's not always easier said than done.
Yeah.
But it's underrated what that'll do for you to gain some control.
It is, yeah. And are you really going to change the person's mind if you're arguing about the election or whatever it might be, right? You got to start thinking about how is that really going to affect it. So it's interesting stuff. And matter of fact, I watched a documentary on social media, and exactly what you said, Jason, is the companies are designing these even just something as simple as the refresh button. When you swipe down to refresh, what's next? It's all a mental thing. And the sad part also is that a lot of it's directed at the young, tweenagers and teenagers. For example, from 14 years old to 19 years old, from 2000, I believe it's from 2012 till now, the suicide rate has increased 183%, largely due to social media. So it's sad. Yep, that's sad. Jason Kobal. Yep, Jason Kobal's on the show here. So, Jason, we're going to finish the show strong here with some top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom, as we always do in our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, here we go. Top tips, Jason.
Real quick, in the Telephone Collections Practices Act, if someone contacts you on your cell phone, and you never gave them permission to do that, just to cover yourself, if it's someone like a collector or someone you don't want to talk to, whether it's a text or a call, revoke their permission to call you. Make sure you tell them, look, I don't want you to call me. I'm telling you, never call me on the phone ever again. And if they do again, whether it's a text or a call, they violated your rights, and I could get you a statutory penalty of $1,000. So if that happens to you, give me a call.
Wow, interesting. So that is if somebody's contacting you on a cell phone, a landline. Does it?
No,
depend?
it has to be the cell phone. Is the law. And if it's what'll determine whether or not there's a case is if it's from an auto dialer. But a lot of these collectors, if it is from an auto dialer, but the law says if a call is from an auto dialer to your personal cell phone and they didn't have your permission, that's a violation. So what I always say is, just in case you may have signed something without knowing, giving them permission. If they do it once, tell them you're revoking your permission, and if they do it again, then you know you have them.
Okay.
Give me a call. And even the pollsters are violating that a lot, and a Supreme Court case came down that says they don't have an exception either. So it could be a bill collector, it could be somebody bothering you about the election coming up, but if it's a text or a call on your cell phone, that's what you could do.
I'm getting a lot of these calls as well, especially because I've got about 50 listings out there, lots of signs in the ground. I'm getting calls from these people. It's an unknown number. It'll actually show the number, but it's unknown to me. And it's people saying that they are from the Census Bureau, and they're asking me a lot of questions about who lives there and all that kind of stuff. It's just, to me, it's like, hey, I don't have time for this. Is it more of a citizen duty to answer those questions, though? I mean, that's the challenge I have.
Yeah, like we just talked about, you know, there's getting control over your efficient use of your brain, and I don't want to waste time on that. So, yeah, I would tell them, revoke that permission, don't call me on this line again, or text that, and they do it again, you give me a call.
Right, there you go. I like it. So Attorney Jason Kobal here, longtime friend of the program, helped out lots of our listeners, lots of folks that we know with the areas of consumer debt law, personal injury law, consumer, lots around consumer. Jason, you say it best. Tell us your niche and how people can reach you.
Yeah, sure. Work comp law, basically any kind of injury law, personal injury, slip and falls, car accidents, workers' comp, on-the-job accidents. And if you're hurt and you can't work anymore, Social Security disability. And then I help with medical debt, basically any debt that isn't yours or the wrong amount. And you can get a hold of me by phone or by my website, Work Comp Law, TampaWorkCompLaw.com or KobalLaw.net.
Tampa Work Comp Law, KobalLaw.net. Good stuff. Yep. Always a pleasure having you on the show, my friend, and we'll appreciate you.
All right.
All right. That's Attorney Jason Kobal, always stepping up and delivering good, timely advice for the show. And that's been a theme that we've seen over the last few weeks is that it seems like the scammers are coming out more. People are coming up and they're looking to try to trick you, whether it's through text messages, Facebook messengers, deceiving mail, deceiving phone calls. Be alert, be smart out there, and always be aware. So that's one thing we want to let you know. And make sure you get out there and vote. We had another one of our attorneys did a great show a couple of days ago. Check it out online if you want to see it. But it went through a lot of the different voting issues, registering to vote, different things happening. We talked a lot about voting with Attorney Millie Athanison on the show just a few days back. So you can check our YouTube channel. You can find all of our previous shows on YouTube, our podcast. We've got a podcast out there on iTunes, rather. Follow us on Instagram, at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, the Consumer Quarterback Show page out there. And we are looking for real estate agents to join our team. Lots of folks we're hiring for the real estate business. Also, expert contributors for the show. If you've got what it takes, you've got a unique niche, reach out. We'd love to talk to you. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.